So on the channel and even on the market, I saw quite loads of QD-OLED 4K 32, 27-inch monitors, and we're having one right here. This is actually AOC AGON Pro AG276UZD. And to be honest, it kind of does bring quite interesting things to the table. First and foremost, because in the last month, the price slashed for £100. And I'm saying pounds because I haven't seen it anywhere else. Now, I want to get the price right at the beginning to you guys. In Croatia, this same monitor ranges from 900 to 1000 euros. Total disgrace. In the UK, currently it's £550. So you can imagine the price difference just with a 2-hour flight. Of course, UK is out of a EU, so that kind of does the trick, unfortunately, for everybody else in the Europe. But yeah, I haven't seen it anywhere else in the Europe currently. So that's the sad part. The best part is the price is 550. The competitor from MSI MAG, I think it's MAG 272 something, I can't recall the name, is 660. So this one is 110 euros, pounds, cheaper than that competitor. But regardless of that, we're having quite nice and solid design. Now, of course, we have the same wobbliness of the screen because of the stand here at the back, but that shouldn't worry you because the screen won't fall. It's just the backside part that gives the flexibility of the screen in terms of pivot, tilt, rotation, and moving it up or down. So as you might remember from the past AOC Agon reviews that I did, we're having the same stand. It's a bit different oriented. It's a bit different shape. It's not symmetrical. It's definitely going to bug somebody's OCD for sure. And we have the same asymmetrical design here at the back, which has their LEDs running at the back. Now, these LEDs are just for the show. You don't get any ambient effect or extending the screen to the wall or anything similar to that, because even without any lights in the room, complete darkness, you won't be able to see, maybe slightly, but that is so irrelevant, and it doesn't copy the screen. It just goes to your specific color, RGB rainbow breeding, and something like that. So yeah, but let's continue with the stand. So you could move it upwards and downwards. The lowest point is 5 centimeters, the highest point is 17, even though they stated on their website that the difference is 13 centimeters. You can see from the centimeter that I had and measured it, lowest point is 5, highest is 17, so basically that's 12. And you have the possibility to tilt it, swivel it, and rotate it on both sides, which is really cool because it gives you an option depending on your orientation of the secondary screen. Will it be on the left, on the right? You can rotate it and not having this Agon logo next to your other screen, right? Now at the back, at the top, we have some sort of a hanger, maybe to carry the monitor easier, I don't know. And of course, compared to the last time, we have a headset stand at the back, which is good because, let's be honest, this is a 4K 240 Hz, 0.03 milliseconds gray to gray, QD-OLED, G-Sync compatible, Versa certified display HDR True Black 400, 26.5 inch. The cool thing about 240 Hz is that you can go with HDMI 2.1 or DisplayPort 2.1. Now, if you noticed in the OSD menu, well, basically I downloaded their application because their OSD menu is a bit outdated, I would have to say. Because on the past model that I reviewed from them, they had an updated version. And now on this one, we have an older version, which is strange. But basically, you can go on their website, download their software that gives you an option to control the monitor. So in that sense, I went and connected with their HDMI cable. Now there, I could get maximum 120 Hz. In this scenario, that means that this is ideal for consoles, 4K 120 Hz. But if you go with DisplayPort, you can immediately select the 240 Hz without a single problem, and that's good. There's also one more thing. At the back of the stand, we have some sort of a clip or something to hold the cables. Let's be honest, if you push it upwards completely, and then you check out this bottom part, you can still see the cables. So I'm just saying this as I do for each and every monitor that I review. If I see the cables, it's somewhat a downside. They did it on their past model that I reviewed. They did it good because they made a hole, but it was a bit too low. The ideal would be this hanger at the back and a hole up higher so the cables can run nicely and be hidden. I know it's a philosophy from my side, guys, but I'm just giving you ideas and thoughts that I think I noticed and stuff like that. It's backed up by 3-year warranty, and this includes burn-in, which is outstanding. It has USB-C 65 watts, KVM switch, USB hub, and loads of other stuff. So we're gonna go now into details with specifications, of course. The interesting thing with the 4K and the 27-inch display, or 26.5, we're having 166 pixel per inch, which is outstanding. Now it has an anti-reflective panel treatment, but it's a glossy finish. To be honest, this is one of the best glossy finish that I would actually consider, because while gaming and all the softboxes turned on, well, actually I had to turn off one because I had a small patch of softbox on the screen, but it's not that bad, because usually if there isn't the anti-reflective panel treatment, you would usually see a whole softbox covering up the whole screen with full blast of the light going through it. Then next what we have is 1.5 million to 1 static contrast ratio, 178 viewing angle, 1.07 billion colors. We have brightness in nits for the SDR 250, HDR 450, and HDR 1000 with APL 3%. It supports adaptive sync. It also has anti-blue light, picture in picture and picture by picture. In this scenario, I didn't show you this because it's regular as the past model, so there's nothing additionally to go through that. When we're talking about color space, sRGB is 145.9, DCI-P3 is 99.3, and Adobe RGB is 96.5. It also has flicker-free, 3 sides frameless, because well, basically you can see the bottom part has that thicker one with the Agon logo in the middle. The edges are colored black inside the screen, so you have a certain space through everything. We're having speakers also, so 5 watts, 2 of those. VESA wall mount is 100 times 100, and you get that extra bracket that you have to place on the back to be able to use that. I didn't mention the tilt and all the other adjustments. So tilt is 3.5 degrees plus minus 1.5, and 21.5 plus minus 1.5. Swivel is 18.5. Pivot is 90 degrees on both sides. Now for the KVM switch, we have USB 3.2 generation 2 type C plus 1 type B and 2 type A connectors, which is quite alright for this type of monitor. Now for the OSD menu and everything all together. What you can do is you have gaming style, gaming mode. For gaming style, you have shooters, MMO, RPG, action, esports, RTS, FPS, esports, beat 'em up, racing, and for the game mode, RTS, FPS, racing, gamer 1, 2, and off. So it has the G menu. As I said, it's a bit outdated. It has an option for low input lag, game color, shadow control, crosshair, dial point, frame counter, and it's quite solid for console gaming as well. I didn't test it out because I don't have any consoles, but what they mentioned in their specifications and in their features, it's PS5 and Xbox X compatible with 2160p at 120 Hz, while the Xbox S is compatible 140p at 120 Hz. It has a external power adapter, and the consumption on typical is 94 watts, if that makes any sense. For the connectivity, more into details, 2 HDMI 2.1, DisplayPort is 1 2.1 UHB R20, connectivity is USB-C 3.2.1, DP alt mode, upstream power delivery up to 65 watts. We're having USB 3.2 generation 1, 5 gigabit per second, and 2 USB Type A. Of course, you have USB fast charge port and headphone out 3.5 millimeters. In the box, you get one HDMI cable, which is 2.1, 1.8 meters. Then you have one DisplayPort 2.1, 1.8 meters. You get one USB Type B to Type A 1.8 meters and one USB-C Gen 2 1.5 meters, of course, with the power adapter. Now, what I noticed usually as I unbox the product and game a bit and give some visual aspect in terms of just to notice if there is something that needs to be corrected in terms of colors. So there were some instances that the colors were a bit too warm, but in general, I was quite satisfied with the stock settings. Now, of course, there is an option that not each monitor gets same calibration out of the box. So you do have to fiddle around a bit. But in this scenario, from my side, I didn't touch literally anything in all the games that I played, and even in those videos that are rolling in the background. So just to give that an idea, if you buy this type of monitor, there is a chance you'll have to calibrate it. They might need to fix the firmware for sure, and definitely update the G menu, even though you can download it from their website. But having an outdated OSD menu just doesn't work in those terms. Okay, it functions, you have all the options and stuff like that, but updated firmware with the color space and everything all together, if it's possible, I think it is. It should be. I think that would fix this monitor quite well. And for the price, it could definitely be one of the best buys in terms of 4K UHD, QD-OLED, 240 Hz, 0.03 milliseconds gray to gray, and all the other specifications that I mentioned. Because it has KVM switches, it has picture-in-picture, picture-by-picture. You have brilliant visuals. You have 4K resolution on 27-inch monitor. I know some of you will complain about that because ideal would be like 32-inch, right? Well, I know some will prefer 27 because of the space on the table. Let's be honest. So, and to have more workspace in that sense and not lose the actual table space. So that is something that you might consider. There is no possibility to switch like I did in the past monitor review to full HD and then get even higher refresh rate. This is fixed 4K, 240 Hertz, and basically that's it. Cable management, color space, what was that? OSD menu, and that is the three things that might be uh, not a negative, but a con for some of you guys. It all depends. Some of you guys won't even bother with the OSD menu, others won't bother with the cable management. And then some of you might be just lucky as I did, taking the monitor right out of the box and having a quite solid visual aspect when we're talking about the colors and just the blacks in that darker part of the games and everything all together. So yeah, this is quite good, quite solid price. And when I mentioned the MSI monitor in the competition as this one is 110 pounds cheaper, which is quite solid price and definitely I mean, I paid those Samsungs at the back, which are also 4K, 27-inch, but they aren't OLED, they're just regular IPS, 550 euros. So, okay, that was like a year and a half ago. But still, this goes into that bracket with 550. So, Best Buy badge for the AOC AGON. There are some kicks. There could be fixed. But then again, yeah, just to give you an idea, this price is really good. So the link for the AOC AGON Pro AG276UZD, quite strange name, at the end, but regardless of that, the link is in the description below for the UK version, well, basically the UK store, because, well, if I find it somewhere else, I'll try to link it as well. So guys, thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye bye.